historic Supreme Court decision that could determine the legality of abortion in all 50 states. And in a frankly unprecedented way, the court's decision may, and we stress may, have been announced. CNN is still trying to confirm a new report by Politico, which says it obtained a draft majority opinion by Justice Samuel Alito in a case concerning a Mississippi abortion law. The draft opinion indicates that the Supreme Court is ready to strike down the landmark decision in Roe v. Wade, as well as a separate court decision, Casey v. Planned Parenthood. This is from page 5 of what we must repeat is a draft opinion obtained by Politico. Quote, "We hold that Roe and Casey must be overruled. The Constitution makes no reference to abortion, and no such right is implicitly protected by any constitutional provision, including the one on which the defenders of Roe and Casey now chiefly rely, the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment." CNN Justice correspondent Jessica Schneider joins us by phone. Jessica, what more do we know about what they have decided?
Yeah, so Anderson, I mean, this is just an absolutely stunning report. And if it's true, as Politico says, this would be a stunning breach of court confidentiality. Politico says that it has obtained this draft majority opinion written by Justice Samuel Alito overturning Roe v. Wade, saying that there is absolutely no constitutional right to abortion. Now, again, this is just a draft opinion. We're expecting a final opinion from this court sometime in the next 8 weeks. They usually wrap up their term at the end of June, and we've been bracing for a decision. But this draft has reportedly been leaked to Politico. The justice apparently wrote in this 98-page opinion that there was no constitutional right to abortion. The Constitution, in his words, makes no reference to abortion, and no such right is implicitly protected by any constitutional provision. Now, a note for our viewers. The way the Supreme Court works procedurally is they hear the arguments. They heard this particular argument on a Mississippi law banning abortion at 15 weeks. They heard that on December 1st. Right after the argument, they go into conference. That's when they take their initial vote. And Politico is saying that at their initial vote, 5 of the justices voted to overturn Roe v. Wade. Again, voting against the constitutional right to an abortion. If those numbers hold, 5-4, with Alito writing the opinion, Justices Thomas, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Barrett joining him, that would indeed be enough. It appears by this draft that the Chief Justice will side with the liberals if this holds. But again, Anderson, this is not final. It is possible for justices to change their vote, and you almost wonder if perhaps someone from the Supreme Court purposely leaked this opinion to get enough public outrage in the coming weeks that maybe one of the justices might change their opinion. That's a possibility here. So again, this is not a final opinion by the court. We get those in very particular order. We get them when the court announces them. They usually release them at 10 o'clock on certain mornings. It'll happen over the next 8 weeks. The court, I have reached out to the court for comment. The court says that they have no comment on this. So they're not striking this down, but they are not commenting at all. Again, this would be one of the most consequential decisions from the Supreme Court in decades. It is not often they overturn precedent, as Roe v. Wade has been, Anderson, since the 1970s. We saw, back in 1896, Plessy versus Ferguson overturned Brown v. Board of Education, declaring separate but equal unconstitutional. This would be momentous. This would be earth-shattering. And you know what, Anderson? We're already seeing states across the country, in particular in Oklahoma, in Florida, and even Arizona. We're seeing these states already starting to change their abortion laws. Oklahoma has outlawed abortion. That goes into effect in August. They're expecting that the Supreme Court will overturn Roe v. Wade. So these states are already taking action on what they expected from this court. And Anderson, tonight it appears, based on what Politico says is a draft opinion, it appears that the Supreme Court has 5 justices, that is enough, who have voted to overturn Roe v. Wade. No official announcement from the court, but Politico saying they have this draft opinion, which indicates what the court will eventually announce here. Anderson?
And Jessica, if that is in fact the ruling of the court, it would then be up to up to each state to decide, for politicians in each state to decide what the law is in their state, correct?
That's exactly right. And what's interesting about this political report is that's one of the lines that they pull from the opinion. And that's been these justices' argument all along, that since this right to abortion is not enshrined in the Constitution, that it should be left to the states and in turn the people of those states. One of the lines that Politico has is, in the opinion, they say, Justice Alito wrote, "It is time to heed the Constitution and return the issue of abortion to the people's elected representatives." The thought here is, since it's not specifically in the Constitution, it should be legislated by individual states and returned, as conservatives like to say, to the people of those states to elect their representatives who will then decide how abortion should be handled. So, right, overruling it will not eliminate it necessarily in all states, but in those states that are led by Republicans, we're already seeing them move to ban abortion. And notably, Anderson, there are actually some states that have trigger laws that will go into effect the second that Roe v. Wade is overturned, that will ban abortion. In fact, the governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer, has just filed a lawsuit to block a law from going into effect. There's a law in Michigan that if Roe v. Wade is overturned, this law banning abortion in Michigan will automatically take effect. There are a few laws like that throughout the country, but yes, it will be returned to the states if that's in fact what happens.
Jessica Schneider, no doubt we'll be coming back to you as events warrant. Joining us right now, CNN Chief Legal Analyst Jeffrey Toobin, former Texas State Senator Wendy Davis, and constitutional law professor, CNN analyst Steve Vladeck.